Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's my reviews for Iron Man number 512, Avengers number 21, and Daredevil number 8. Now, this is part 2 to a two-part storyline with a crossover between Spider-Man and Daredevil, with the Black Cat as the main focus of the story, where she was basically, I don't want to say blackmailed, she was accused of doing something wrong, or stealing, which she didn't do. And overall, I thought the storyline was pretty decent. This does two things. One is it basically pushes the relationship apart from any chance of Peter Parker with a Black Cat, which is fine. I mean, they didn't need to go in that direction to begin with, but it was nice that, I don't want to say nice, it's just that they put a stop to that, potentially from happening. And the second part is what they're doing is they're setting the seeds for the next storyline for Daredevil. Because if you remember, the last storyline, you had Daredevil with that Fantastic Four chess piece, which is basically the storage device for massive amounts of data, which would be very bad in the wrong hands. So this is what they're doing, is they're setting the stage for that. And for that matter, it's a decent story. It's not a home run, but it's decent. The art's kind of good. I think there's times when I really, really like it still, and there's other times I just go, I don't really like it that much. I think most of it's the way, centers around the way they drew Black Cat. There's a lot of parts of it that I do like, the way they illustrated her. There's also a storyline where they're going to be dealing with Matt Murdock's father's body, and the relationship between Daredevil and Black Cat. So, overall it's decent, nothing great, but we'll see how it pans out. I can tell that they're really building up to something. Okay, next up is Avengers 21. This is Captain America's and Iron Man's version of the Avengers, and they're taking on Osborn and Hydra and those guys. And for the most part, Hammer completely plays this team of Avengers for fools, because they're completely prepared for them, and they take them down really, really quickly with their own genetically engineered superheroes. Now, part of me, I'm really torn with this, because I really like there's some characters, like the Captain Marvel character, I like it, but they're not giving him enough airtime. But at the same time, it's like they're making him so that's why he's shining a little bit, but then yet he's just taken down pretty easily by Iron Man. And I don't know, there's just, the way their team is taken down, it's just really quick and it's really efficient, and it just makes you wonder, why would these people be considered the world's greatest superheroes if they just get taken out that easily? I'm still trying to figure out why the Storm is part of this group, other than they wanted to have their own Thor-type character, and Storm is the only one that they could find for this. With all the problems that are going on with X-Men and the X-Men Schism, I don't know, part of me would rather just have her stay on that side of the fence and deal with that and build her character back up in that, than throwing her over to the Avengers and have her be in 16,000 different places like Wolverine. Let's see. The art's okay. There's some decent moments. Then there's other parts which just make me go blah. And for the most part, I think what they're doing with this is if you remember, the Vision came back, and I think part of this is them trying to reestablish Vision as a major character, and he'll have a feeling he's going to save the day type thing. But we'll see. It's just okay. It's not earth-shattering. It's not amazing. It's just an average read. Next up is Iron Man number 512. This actually I really enjoyed, because this is dealing with the Mandarin, his revenge with Tony, and he's doing a fantastic job at systematically dismantling him. And it's this was actually a really pleasure to read. This is one of the few titles I actually look forward to reading every single month. just because the art's really good. I like the way the Mandarin has his team of villains, and how he's basically declared war on the world type thing. I can see where he's made a crucial mistake with his Dreadnought type robots, but you know, you have to have the supervillain with the flaw at some point, otherwise they'd win all the time. So I'm okay with that. Overall, though, great read, and basically what we have is, because of the events of with Tony Stark and the drinking while on the job, things like that, he's basically, there's a warrant out for his arrest because he crash landed in the middle of the city, New York, and I guess you could say he assaulted the paramedics or the doctors because they were using those machines on him, and then he would have died if they continued. So he used his repulsor thing just to push them back a little bit, and he escaped. So there's people wanting to bring him in for questioning. Plus you have the government all huffy because they're like, well, who elected him, God and whatnot, to wear this armor when he's uncontrollable? Well, we could put one of our soldiers in it. That kind of attitude. So they're basically bringing in Rhodes, and he's like, I have other issues to deal with right now, but then, Iron Man will be next. So, this actually got me thinking about something. With all the way Marvel has planted the seeds of the superheroes, they're often not appreciated, and basically the common person or the government or whatever will quickly turn on them. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to do like a Dark Reigns type story, but in this storyline, what would happen is you take out somebody like Captain America, but when you take him out heroically, but because he's trying to save some people, but then the mob mentality kills him. Then you have Hawkeye maybe retaliating on the mob in the fit of anger, and then you have public sentiment just completely turning against the superheroes. And what you eventually do is you create a world where the basic general population and the military, the government, completely outlaws all the superhero powers and whatnot. So then what you will eventually have is you'll have some heroes who will just change costume and still fight crime, and you'll probably have a bunch of other heroes moving to Canada, Europe, or just retiring. So what I would want to see is, I want to see a world where you have a great evil appear, and not necessarily Norman Osborn. I mean something evil, something very, very destructive, rampaging, and have the superheroes not answer the call, and watch what happens after that. Then what you have is the superheroes having to deal with their decision not answering the call, watch the death and destruction, and then what happens after that. How does the public react to the first superhero that comes back? And then, just you can go on from there. I was just thinking that's the type of story I would like to see. Because, like with Marvel, they keep getting to the edge of that, but they always pull everything back. They play it safe because you can't have character death like that. You can't have a superhero turning their back on the population for too long. And a story like that would have to develop over time. Like maybe we're talking at least 12 to 24 issues, and 12 would be minimum, but 24 would be better. And just something that develops like that. Something that has a lasting imprint and an effect on, the reader. Because, we never see anything like that. Because Marvel and DC always play it safe. Okay, well, we'll have Spider-Man be public enemy number one, but nothing ever happens. He's just always public enemy number one. Tony Stark, he'll always be Iron Man. Maybe there'll be a time where somebody else will put on the armor, but then the Iron Man movie will be coming around, or the Iron Man cartoon, and sales will be lagging, so they need to put Tony back in. Same thing happened with Captain America. Captain America was, Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers gets killed, and then Bucky's Cap. And then what do? You bring Steve Rogers back right in time for the movie. I don't want that kind of nonsense. I want I want a story where it actually has a consequence, and it could be like a what if type thing. If you used a Marvel superhero, I like the idea of using the Marvel characters just because it's, you have recognition, and you have a history, and then, when you have let's say, a Tony Stark who just goes, you know what, F you, I'm going to China and I'm building up an empire there, just something like that, it would be different, and that decision would have a much more lasting effect on the person reading it versus somebody who just created a fake Iron Man and that's what happened. But anyways, that's what I was thinking. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think, and I'll have more reviews out. I still have a couple more books to read, so hopefully I'll do those tomorrow. And until next time.